Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about the downsides of being too good in clinical research. Believe it or not, there are actual downsides of being the best or too good at your job in clinical research, and we're going to go over those. But first, this is actually a sponsored video. So the sponsor of today's video is by a company called Pop Voice. They reached out to me a few days ago and sent me a lavalier microphone actually. So that's what I'm recording this on right now. And I gladly accepted because one of the things I'm going to be doing in the future on this channel is doing a lot more in the field footage. So we're going to have some actual live in the field footage coming. A little bit more vlog style, we'll do that. And then possibly some interviews. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to partner with them for this video because eventually I'm going to be doing some interviews. And I've used these lavalier mics in the past before, and overall they've been serviceable, but they reached out. They've actually got a 16-foot microphone that I'm using right now. So I'll be able to be 16 feet away from whatever I'm recording on. And that's awesome. So we're recording this whole video on this Pop Voice microphone. And if you're in the market for a lavalier microphone for any of your own personal videos or anything like that, I would definitely check this one out. It's not too expensive. And as you can tell right now, the audio quality is pretty good. So that's what we'll be recording on today. And thank you, big shout out to Pop Voice for supplying the microphone for today's video. So now back into this video. What are the downsides of being the best or too good at your job in clinical research? Well, a lot of people think they take the age-old wisdom of you need to be the best at your job, you need to go and be the best, and that's how you're going to get promoted. That's how you're going to get your raises. That's how you're going to get your bonuses and things of that matter. But that's not really how it works. So what typically happens when you're the best at your job, when you're known for being the best at your job, is you are going to start getting harder work. So they're going to start putting you on studies that require a lot more work. They're going to start putting you on studies that are a lot harder and more complex. So you're originally going to be at the best, and then you're going to be put on those studies that require a lot more work, a lot more effort. And you're going to be spending a lot of extra time typically working. And now whether you're hourly or salaried, that could make a difference. But if you're salaried, suddenly you're going to be going from 40 hours a week to 45 to 50 hours a week just because they wanted to put you on harder studies because you're the so-called best. If you are average or slightly above average, they're pretty much just going to keep you where you are. And I think that's something you want to think about. So even if you are the best, maybe you tone it down a notch or so. Wow, ECRG, are you really saying this? Yes, I'm really saying this. Being the best has its drawbacks. Of course, you should try your hardest and give good effort and be a good team player with your teammates. But being the best has its drawbacks. They start taking you for granted. They start expecting things of you because you're the so-called best. And one of the big things that happens, obviously, is they're going to start giving you harder work, more and more work, and expecting more of you because you're the best. So if that's not really your goal, if your goal was just to try and get that promotion, try and get that bonus, and that's why you're trying so hard and trying to be the best, well, here's the second thing with that. Those that are the best don't necessarily in proportion get the promotion, the bonuses, all the extra perks. They don't. The people that are B players, that are average, above average, tend to actually get more promotions than the people that are the best. Because if you recall, what we've talked about all the time on this channel, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And a lot of the times the people that are networking are going to get those bonuses and promotions no matter how good you are at your job. Now this might be different, slightly different for people with a lot more metrics. I'm thinking sales. Sales comes to mind initially, but it just goes to show. I mean, even in the sales department, it's not always about the numbers to get those things. A lot of times it's who you know, and if you have a good relationship with your boss and some of the other managers, then that's going to really be to your benefit when it comes time for that. So a lot of people tend to think that if you are the best, you're going to get the best stuff. You're going to be the highest paid. Once again, not even close to true. because they've got new people coming in that they're going to pay more than you, that know way less than you. So, I mean, there are people in my department right now that I know are a lot better, but new people coming in are going to make way more money than them. So that's just the game. As they always say, don't hate the player, hate the game. So that's why it's important to keep your options open, stay mobile, stay lethal, stay deadly, so you can move when you need to if your goal is to be making a top tier salary in the clinical research industry. So what are some of the other downsides of being the best at your job? Being taken for granted. One thing that's going to happen is they're just going to expect these things of you. They're just going to expect you to be the best. They're just going to expect you to be fine taking on this harder work without any of the benefits. And they're going to start taking you for granted. And no one likes being taken for granted. No one likes that feeling. And a lot of times if you're, just an average, above average person, you still have room to improve. If you do something amazing, then everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, good job, you did that. That was so awesome. They're gonna thank you for it. But if you're the best, they expect that A+ level quality work. And you're eventually gonna be taken for granted. So that's something you gotta think about. And I know it goes against some of the age-old wisdom of being your best and all that stuff. Try to be the best, aim to be the best. But it goes to show, if you want to play the game right, it's not always the best that will get you to where you want to be. You've got to be tactical. You got to be like a chess master with this situation. The goal of chess is not to have the most pieces on the board. The goal of chess is to kill the other person's king, right? So it's not, you could have less pieces but still get their king in checkmate. And it's not about how many pawns you have or how many of the pieces you have. It's about strategy and positioning. And that's the same thing with this industry also. It's not always about being the best to get to where you want to be. So being the best really has its drawbacks, and I think a better place to be is slightly above average, or not the best, under the best. So like an A level and below. B, A level, but not the A+ person, because they're going to get taken advantage of. So hope this video, guys, was awesome for you guys. If you got any questions about being the best, or how do you play that, or anything like that, any tactical things, you can comment down below. If you're listening on the podcast, don't forget to subscribe. We've got so many podcasts, daily podcasts coming out. Actually, 5 days a week we do the podcast, and YouTube is daily. And what else? Oh yeah, Facebook. We got a Facebook page too, so you can find us on Facebook there also. And thank you guys so much for listening. Hope this was informative. Take care, guys.